Hello everyone and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today I'll be talking to Amelia. Amelia is a blogger. She's been doing this since 2009. She found her passion. It's almost unbelievable that people find their passion doing what they truly love. And she has really found her passion doing what she truly loves. She blogs about a whole ranges of things, which ranges from fashion, beauty, food, travel, and lifestyle. How did she get started? After graduating from university with a bachelor degree of science in psychology, Amelia embarked on a 5-year career in recruitment, running a little blog alongside in her spare time in the evenings. She didn't get satisfied by that. She thought she needed to focus on this thing, the blog side, on a full-time basis. So in 2009, she decided to start and go out there and venture on and starting her blog. Her blog is called Amelia AX. You could get it on xameliaax.com. This blog is a place for people who enjoy life and love to try new things. Here, you will find reviews of beauty products, amazing places to explore and stay, delicious restaurants to eat, and easy to make recipe and cocktail, theaters review, and many, many more. She's also started a YouTube channel and she does a weekly vlog. There's just so much more about Amelia, and I'm just so excited to understand more about her. How did she turn her passion to her joy? Meet Amelia. Welcome to Painless Universal, conversation with myself. I have the gorgeous Amelia here with us today.
Hi everyone.
Amelia, I'm so glad you could join us. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm good, thank you. The sun's shining, so it's a good day.
Oh well, where are you? Where about in London are you? Are you based in
London? I'm actually based in the Midlands, so just near Birmingham.
All right then, not too bad. And the sun is shining, so that's great.
Yeah, happy day.
And now I stumbled upon your blog and I was actually really fascinated because you do share amazing tips on there. And I was wondering, how did you get to start sharing those tips? Because it's just so amazing. But before we get there, who is Amelia?
Oh, who isn't she? I feel like what you get is what you see is what you get online. I've always been very, very real with everything that I share. So I feel like if you started following me at the start of my journey about 11 years ago now, you would see a different Amelia to the Amelia you're seeing now. And I think it's important to have that growth and that journey online. But basically all I try and do is to spread a bit of realness, because I feel like there is a lot of fakery online, and it can have real impact on people's mental health. So for me and my channels, all I'm aiming to do is just show real life, everything I'm interested in, which is a lot of things, so it's quite nice to be able to have them all there. But yeah, it's just me basically, a 32-year-old girl just trying to make it in life.
How did you get into it? Because one of the things that fascinates me about blogging and everything you do, which you've now made into a brand, is that people think it's just writing, but it's also a business. How did you get from the beginning to where you are now?
It was a long process, to be honest, and I don't think there's a quick fix way. There are definitely people who have made it and just hit it lucky with a big video that's gone viral, and they've gained their following that way. But for the most part, it is a long, hard slog, and you kind of just have to learn as you go along. So I have a degree in psychology, that's where I trained, and then I went into pub recruitment after that. So it's actually nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. So I've had to learn everything on my own in my spare time, and I was doing it as a hobby for, I'm not sure now, maybe about 6 years, maybe 7 years, and then it started to ramp up a little bit where I started to get brand deals when blogging became a thing. Because when I started, it was just something that people would do as like an online diary, something for fun. It was never even possible to do it full time. And then it started to all pick up on the YouTube side with other people, and it started to trickle down to me. And 4 years ago, I left my full-time job to do this. How it happened, I don't know, but I'm not complaining.
Amelia, that's really fascinating because I read about you and some of your blogs, and you said in 2009 you started, you said, okay, this is something I'm really passionate about. So when you started, you just balancing the two, balancing the blogging side and your full-time recruitment job. I guess that's how you kind of made it work, right?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's not overnight, it's not instant. It really does take a long time with any business, really, to build your brand and to get recognized in whatever area you're in. So it takes a while.
And how did you focus on 5 major areas, which is things I absolutely love: lifestyle, fashion, you name it, food, and all of that. How did you choose these are the niche areas you wanted to identify yourself with?
Well, in the blogosphere, as we call it, that it's easier to grow if you have a niche, to be honest. So I would probably be a lot bigger, maybe a lot more successful if I'd have just picked one of those and just either gone with fashion or beauty or food or travel. But I just found that I didn't really fit into any of those boxes specifically. I'm not a fashion guru, or I'm not a beauty guru, and I don't like to just write about one thing. I've got so many hobbies and so many interests, and my hobbies and interests have changed as the years have gone on. So it's nice to be able to have that option to talk and write about anything that I want to, really.
Yeah, one of the things I find fascinating is one of your articles where you said integrity of an income. I remember that integrity of the income article. I like that article because I think in today's fast-paced world, a lot of people go for the income, not thinking about long-term. Feel like everything you said is like everything takes a while to get where you need to get to. Why did you write that article, and what message were you trying to get out there?
So I think in the blogosphere, in the Instagram world, the influencer world, personally I prefer content creator, but there is definitely a new sort of generation of influencers and people who get into this to make money, to get famous, to get big brand deals. And it's just not where I started. It's not why I started. I'm part of like the original group of bloggers who were doing it because we love it, not to get famous or rich, right? And over the years it has become my job, so I do need to make money from this. This is how I pay the bills. But I will never sell out my values for a big paycheck, and I think that's where a lot of people fall short when they're coming into this industry. It needs to be because you love it and because you're staying true to your values, basically. That article was about a job that I could have quite easily passed off as a product that I was using, even though I wasn't. I could have faked it all and made it look really believable, I guess, and I would have taken home quite a hefty paycheck for it, and it would have been easy. But it's just not what I'm about, and I've not spent 11 years building up the trust of my audience to throw it away.
I agree because I see that a lot. I myself as well, I get a lot of people asking for things, and I always have to ask myself, if I'm not using it, why am I saying that I am? It's, for me, it just doesn't make sense. And I like that article. But how do you balance your time? Because to do this work is almost like it's really intense, and especially being an entrepreneur, you own this brand and this is your baby. How do you balance your time to know, okay, this is the time for me, this is Amelia's time, for Amelia to go get her rest and do what she needs to do? How do you find your own wellness between all
I think it's hard when your job is the internet. The internet doesn't ever turn off, and it can be very easy to get to a point where you also don't turn off. So it's something that I really have to focus hard on to make sure I'm taking that time away. And it's something I sort of revamped last year and put plans in place to make it happen. So using things like your apps on your phone that will limit the amount of time you're allowed on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever you need to be, and it will sort of tell you when you've reached your quota and that's it, or you can shut them off between certain times in a day. So for me, having that structure and saying, right, 10 to 11 is email time, and then after that, all afternoon I'll be creating a video, and then in the evening I can go on and do my Instagram work. Trying to set some kind of framework like that helps, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, especially being an entrepreneur, because you have to, this is now also a business, not like you're just doing it for a hobby. This is a business. And when clients sends you email, you find that guilt in yourself to want to respond. But I think what you just said, because I've never thought about that method, about timing your screen time. And
Yeah.
this is the amount of time I want to spend today on the screen and not going past that. Yeah, no, that is in good insight in there. Good tip. I've never really thought about it that way, so that's really good. You did talk about something about diet shaming. I mean, I think today there's so many diets and there's so many shaming, there's so many are you doing it right, or you should look like this, you should look like that. And if you don't fit that particular mode, you could actually be outcasted because you don't fit that. Why did you feel that was an important subject for you to touch upon?
It's a tricky one, and I think we could be here all day talking about body confidence and the whole body confidence movement online. It's something I feel very passionate about because it's something that, again, with my content, it's what I'm going through. And over the years, I've definitely had ups and downs with my body and my confidence around that. And there has been, over the last sort of few years, a real upsurge with the whole body positive, body confident movement, which is fantastic. I do also feel like it's potentially going a little bit too far the other way now. And for anybody who dares to speak out and say, well, actually, I'm not quite happy with XYZ and I want to change it, or I'm not fit enough, so I want to go to the gym, or, I've put on a lot of weight, I've not been that healthy recently, I feel like I want to go on a diet and then rein it back in a little bit. You're kind of villainized for that now instead of the other way around. So I think it's very important to just keep that balance, and not sort of cancel anyone because they either want to go on a diet or don't want to go on a diet. It's really important to just sort of take a step back and let people do their own thing.
Yeah. Another thing is I don't know, what is it, one post at a time you have? That's probably stemmed from mental health. You're trying to help in that mental health. So how does that fit with your work? This one post at a time that you've launched aside. Amelia has this Amelia, and then you have this other bit, one post at a time. Well, I'm not sure if I got that correct. Is it one post at a time, or what is it?
So that's from my other sister site called Bloom from the Darkness, which is a self-help website.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one, and the tagline for that is to take things one post at a time, and just be a little bit more gentle with yourself. So I launched Amelia X in 2009, I think it was, which is crazy. And I've spoken about a lot of things on there, and my life has changed a lot. I weekly vlog and talk about my personal life as well as my professional life, and obviously things have gone wrong along the way, as life does. And I spoke about it online, and so many people messaged to say thank you because they were also going through a really tough time, with depression, with heartbreak, with everything that can come our way. And it was incredibly inspiring for me to be able to talk about it and help people. And I just find I had a pull towards it, but Amelia X wasn't big enough because that was just my story. That was my experience. I wanted to be able to have a website where other people could share their stories, on a whole wealth of other self-help areas. So not just the depression and the heartbreak, but also grief or infertility or anything that may be going on and people might need help with. So I launched Bloom from the Darkness in 2018, I think. And it's a community-led website where anybody can come and write for us. If you can write an article, you can come and write, tell your story, and just help inspire people one post at a time.
Wow, that is really nice. I went on that website. It was really nice because you see different stories, and not just one story of You know, if you see divorce stories as well, someone going through that difficulty and that challenge, telling them story. And I think anyone who goes on there would actually find, you know, you find some comfort just to know that you're not there alone. In this difficult time, you've seen the COVID, you've seen everything happening in the world today. There's just so much in the world to take on. If someone is looking to start a blog as not as a hobby, but as a brand, what would be your genuine advice to that person to say? I mean, what would Amelia say to that person who was looking to start this blog?
I get asked this a lot, actually, and my answer is always the same. You need to be clear as to why you're doing it. If you want to do it for the brand deals, for the money, for the online fame, go for it. Like, just go for it. But understand that it's not going to happen overnight, and you might have to sell out a little bit to get there, you know, if that's all you're in it for. But if you are in it because you want to help people, and you want to share your story online, that's a completely different kettle of fish, and you can still get to the part where you're earning money from it. It is your career, but it probably will take a little bit longer, and you're going to have some tough decisions to make along the way if you want to stay true to you and the brand that you're looking to make.
Oh, that's true. What's next for you? What's what do you have in store? I mean, you must have so much, because I mean, you are one of the fortunate people because of your brand is online. So it's not like you had to change things so much. So your messages must be a lot. What next for you? What should we be looking out for?
Well, do you know what? To be honest, COVID was a really tricky time, because a lot of my brand deals and everything got cancelled at the start, because they were just cutting budgets. But things are starting to trickle in again now. No travel at the moment. I don't feel quite confident enough to get back out there. But we're just sort of, again, taking it one day at a time, taking it one post at a time, and just sort of sharing journeys. Personally, at the moment, I've just come off my contraceptive pill, so I'm talking about that a lot online, and the response has been huge from other women who are in the same position, or who don't have an outlet where they can openly talk about menstrual issues, I guess, and the health of menstruators. So I've really opened that conversation up online, and for me that's super exciting, because it's something I'm passionate about, it's something I'm going through and I can share, but also help people along the way. So yeah, that's a real big focus for me at the moment, is creating a lot of content around, you know, that kind of stuff, period pants, menstrual cups, everything, asking people what they want to hear and answering questions openly and honestly. That it still seems to be quite a taboo subject at the moment, and we need to change that.
That is true, because I mean, it's a subject you still talk about and people feel like, well, don't say that, it shouldn't be said. And I don't know why. It's part of who we are. It's nothing we could do about it. That's the way we're, you know, it's who we are. So what led you to feel comfortable? Because I think it's still that stigma and to people being uncomfortable. And how would you encourage one to be comfortable about talking about their bodies?
To be, I don't know if it's just me, but I wasn't bothered at all. Whether it's just because I've been doing this for 11 years and I'm super open, which, you know, can open you up to a lot of criticism for sure, but it helps more people than it hurts you to do it. So I'm just not embarrassed by it, and I think unless people start getting out there and talking about it and not being embarrassed, other people aren't going to understand that it's okay to talk about it and not be embarrassed. So, you know, we'll use all the words and we'll talk about it, and we'll be as blunt as we need to be until the conversation changes and it becomes normal.
And where can we join you on this platform, this conversation you're having? Where could people go and join you on this?
It's on Instagram mostly, and I'm going to be putting together quite a few videos on it, like a series of different videos, because there's just been so many questions. So I'm excited. You know, when you get a response back from your audience about something that you are passionate about, it's incredibly inspiring. So I'm a little bit giddy about it. I can't wait to produce the content for it.
Oh wow, I can't wait. And let me know so we can share that on our platform as well. But thank you so much, Amelia. This has been really joyful talking to you. I've learned so much about yourself and learned about building of a brand is not easy, but you keep it going because I mean, your what you blog about are very, very things that relate to anyone. You know, the fashion you talk, the way you talk about the fashion, I love that. You know, you don't talk about it in the high couture side, but you talk about it in the real world way of fashion. What fashion really truly is, which is something amazing. I love that, and I love the mixtures of the dye, the food, the cocktail as well. Keep doing that. Do you have any blog out there that you want to share before I will let go? I tell you.
I'm not sure. I think the good thing about Amelia X and also Bloom from the Darkness as well is that there is something for everybody. So if you go on, even if you're not interested in the fashion side, there's the life hacks, the personal stories, the food, the cocktails, the travel. There's something for everybody. So I guarantee if you go on that website, you will find something that you want to read or watch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amelia, for joining me today on this conversation. You are truly amazing, and I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.